do you want? You want, I'm sorry? I'm sorry for what? I didn't see anything.
You knew and threw me away to the wind like I was nothing to you. Nothing.
I did not know.
Yes, you did,
No,
Peggy.
I did not, Ashley.
After storming off the stage and blaming her granddaughter for ruining her life, the grandmother has walked away from the conversation entirely. The question now is, will she come back and face the difficult questions that are still hanging in the air? Let's see what happens next.
This is Brenda, the mother of these two girls. And you have said that you had a terrible feeling something was going on. Mm-hmm. Then what the hell were you thinking, allowing these girls to be around this perverted human being?
Peggy denied it all. I had no signs.
I'm sorry?
I had nothing. Peggy lied to me, would not tell me the truth. She just, every time I mentioned it when Ashley was about 10 years old. And Peggy said, no, Ashley, everything's fine. And at the time I was young. She was my first child.
I understand. Look,
and I had no clue.
I want you to take a breath, take a break. We're going to come back and talk about all of this. And maybe Peggy's got the guts to come back out here and face reality.
And where was...
I'm sorry?
These girls are lying. I know what went on. We were very close because I am her sister-in-law. You're just greedy.
No.
Really? Really?
Does Joe have money?
No, and that's why you got mad, because he wouldn't give you what you wanted when you asked him for it.
And what did I ask him for?
Yeah, now you tell me, because I know.
What did I ask him for?
Okay, but what child, regardless of age, would put themselves through all of this for no reason, just because they wanted money? This was
You're
not
looking at
easy.
one, she's sitting beside
Doing
you.
trials and all of that and coming out and having to speak and say all the words and feel disgusted about it. What person would want to put themselves through that?
Exactly, that's what I'd like to know.
Well, excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Sharon?
Sharon?
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate you speaking up and giving your point of view. Has it occurred to you that whether you like their politics or personality, whether you like their timing, that you might just be jumping on two victims of a child molester that's spending 255 years in jail?
I know that.
Is it just possible? Because do you even admit into your consciousness the possibility that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people might be telling the truth?
Because these girls that she had go up there and write statements are girls that she went to school with that lives 50 miles away from us. They were not neighbors.
So you say there's a conspiracy here.
Yes, sir, I do.
Her son, her daughter, these two, and other friends that weren't related. There's all a conspiracy. They're all willing to lie under oath.
Yeah, they did. This girl's trying to say that she went there when she was 4 years old, and if you read the statements, she herself admits that she did not go there and stay until she was 7.
So the jury got it wrong.
No, it was all rigged. Simple as that. It was decided what was going to happen before they went there.
So the conspiracy includes these two girls, their mother, her daughter, her son, 3 other people that that weren't related, a prosecutor, and 12 jury members.
Yes, sir.
What would be their motive for this? Because listen, I
have no idea what
I
their
spent
motive
half
is.
of my career in the courtroom in trial sciences working with juries, and I can tell you, I don't know how you would find 12 people that have never met before they come to the courtroom that would be motivated to rig a trial and put a man in jail for 255 years over 2 girls that they don't know. What's the motive? Why would a jury? What would be the currency? What would you offer a jury to do that?
I have no idea.
doesn't that sound outlandish to you? Doesn't it
You
sound...
know what? I'm sure to everybody in this room.
No,
that
I'm
it
saying
sounds
to you,
outlandish.
does it sound outlandish?
And if you live where we live, no, sir, it does not sound outlandish. It's as simple as that.
Well, you know, I've done jury trials where you live, and I tell you
Really?
what, I think the jury gets it right. I think the jury system pretty much gets it right. I think people come in, take their civic duty very seriously, and I can't imagine how I would even begin to try to motivate 12 unknown people to conspire against one man in favor of a girl that they don't even know. She's not wealthy, she's not famous, she's not, there's just virtually no currency. Why would they do that?
I don't know, but you guys are going to think what you want to think. I don't care. I don't care. Like I said, I was close to this situation. I watched that little girl grow up, okay? I'm sorry, but it was not, it didn't happen.
No, not okay. I don't accept that just because you say it. No, I don't.
And I don't accept it because she says it, because it did not happen.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to this mother and find out where she was during all this.
Dr. Phil raises a fair question here. If the mother had concerns or suspicions that something inappropriate might have been happening, why were the children still being allowed to spend time there? That's the kind of question that naturally comes up when people look back at a situation and try to understand the decisions that were made. Family dynamics can be complicated, but it's still a question that deserves an answer. As for the grandmother's friend claiming that the entire legal system conspired against the grandfather, that's a difficult argument to accept without strong evidence. It's one thing to believe someone is innocent. It's another to suggest that investigators, prosecutors, witnesses, and everyone involved were all working together to falsely accuse one person. At some point, that explanation starts requiring more assumptions than the allegations themselves. It can also become a way of dismissing every piece of evidence or testimony that doesn't fit the conclusion you've already decided on.
Well, since the age of 4, Ashley was molested and raped by her step-grandfather, Joseph Palmer. He is now serving 255-year prison sentence. Her sister Megan was also abused, and 7 years ago, Ashley and Megan got the justice they sought when Joseph Palmer was convicted on 151 charges of sexual misconduct. Their mom, Brenda, blames herself for not following her gut when she suspected something wasn't right.
Joe and Peggy would come and get the girls, and they would spend the weekend there. Ashley, she was happy to go to Grandma and Grandpa's. I'd heard some rumors from a family member of Joe's that he had touched her and stuff when she was younger, and that she had told Peggy, and Peggy didn't believe her. When I first found out, that was the worst day of my life, but Joe raped and molested my daughter. I felt like I was bad, Mom. I should have seen it. If I had known what he was doing, I would have killed him. I would have killed the son of a bitch. Peggy knew what was going on. I think Peggy's an evil bitch. I'd probably go up and knock the out of her. And I know I'd go up and knock the out of her. And I'd hope she'd rot in hell, just like her husband's. I think Joe, he deserves more than what he got. I would like to see him get raped in prison. I hope he gets raped as many times as he raped my daughters. And then he'll have gotten everything he deserved. I know that Ashley wants a relationship with Peggy. I wouldn't stop it. I'd let it be her choice, but I would let her know how I feel about it.
Are you lying?
No.
Have you fabricated this entire thing?
No.
And recruited Megan?
No.
And recruited these friends?
No.
And recruited Brenda?
No.
So you didn't construct all of this. and then go out and recruit all of these other people to lie under oath in a court of law, facing the penalties of jeopardy, of perjury, put themselves in jeopardy for perjury in order to get back at someone?
No.
Are you lying?
No.
You didn't construct this just to justify being with a boyfriend?
No.
Can I make a
Say
statement?
anything you want.
One was whenever all this had happened, Peggy had called a relative of mine and told them, Joe admits to what he did to Ashley, but he denies what he did to Megan. The second thing is, and it's in court, Joe pled guilty, but he said that he was insane. And they put him through a psych evaluation, and they said, nope, you aren't insane. And whenever we went to trial, he pled not guilty. But everybody, they still say we're lying. I mean, there was times, Peggy watched in the living room. She would come in my room at nighttime and catch him and tell him to stop, go back to bed. He would lock my door. She would change it and put one on there that didn't lock. A couple months later, he would put the lock back on there, and she would repeatedly come in and catch him. She told my dad, my biological dad, that she knew that he had done it. And my dad, whenever we went to court, admitted that whenever I was 6 years old, he walked in and caught Joe. And he told Peggy, whenever I was 6, that if he caught him again, he would kill him. And how could I make it up if, not only did my dad catch her, so she can't say that she didn't know. At the least, she can sit here and say, yes, I knew, and I'm sorry. And she can't even do that.
Well, maybe she can. You expected it was going on. You didn't do anything about it.
At one time, I suspected something. I just had a gut feeling because at 10 years old, Ashley had started her menstrual cycle. I thought, okay, that's kind of young.
You
And I was
found blood in
talking
her
to,
underwear.
yeah.
You said you had a weird
And-
vibe when Joe would hold Ashley in his arms at 11.
At 11, just at one time when he had her in her arms.
Just your maternal
just-
instincts
yeah.
that something's wrong here. You
And
said
I
you saw
never-
Ashley cleaning herself at 5 years old after a visit to Peggy and Joe's, and you thought that was strange.
Well, I didn't know what she was doing. She was in the bathtub, and the water was running, and she just held herself up under the faucet. Okay, I thought, okay, she's a little girl, she's playing in the water. I had no idea what she was doing.
You said you knew Ashley had locks on her door at Peggy and Joe's house.
Probably teenage years when I found out she had locks.
And you said Joe rubbed against your breasts.
Yes. He would rub up against all the women. He would pat them all on the butt.
Well, if you had these things going through your mind, why as a mother did you not run?
Because at the time, I never thought Joe was like that. We used to be pretty close.
You like to hope that you can trust your family.
And
Looking back, did you
Looking
fail to do what you needed to do?
now at everything, yes.
Have you said that to these girls?
Yeah. I should have been there to protect them, and I wasn't.
This is where I really struggle with the mother's explanation. She says she suspected something was wrong. She says a family member told her they had been touched by the grandfather. She even says that she herself experienced inappropriate behavior from him. With all of that information, my question is, why in the world would you allow your children to be around that person? We're not talking about a single rumor from a stranger. We're talking about multiple warning signs coming from different directions, including her own personal experience. At some point, when you have that many reasons to be concerned, protecting your children should become the priority above everything else. That's why Dr. Phil's question is so important. If you genuinely believed there was even a possibility that this man could be a danger, why take the risk at all? The more I listen to this, the harder it is to understand how those concerns could exist alongside the decision to continue allowing contact. When children's safety is involved, Ignoring that many red flags is a decision that deserves to be questioned.
Peggy is backstage, and she says she is ready to come back out with one condition, that her outspoken friend Sharon will join her on stage. We'll see if we can put that together when we come back. Well, I'm glad you're back so we can talk about this, and I'm going to tell you why. I believe that there are times in every person's life, your life, your life, your life, your life, your life, my life, everybody in this audience. You know, if you're 40 years old, I don't know, you've lived 12,000 days or something, and they all kind of run together, except certain days stick out. You know, there are things we remember in our life. There are those key moments. And I believe we all come to points in our lives when all things wrong can be made right. We come to points in our life where we can say, you know what, I can't change what's happened in the past, but I can change what we're doing now and where we're going now and what's going on. Now, I have to tell you that as a mental health professional that's been doing this for 35 plus years, I believe that these three women over here had inappropriate contact with your husband. I believe that the women who are talking about it in their statements were inappropriately interacted with by your husband. I don't know whether you knew about it at the time or whether you didn't, but I think in your heart of hearts, you have to believe that this guy with alcoholism and all the things that were going on around at the time was making some really bad choices. And if I were you, I would have to acknowledge that, and I would hate myself for not seeing it or reacting to it at the time. But you're at one of those choice points in life here.
My choice point?
They don't want anything from you other than...
I don't want them either.
I
So
understand.
why are we here?
What?
It took her 7 years to holler rape. It's been 7 years since he's been in jail. We're here. Another 7 years. What's she going to want?
If I don't get an answer, an answer.
What do you want? You want, I'm sorry? I'm
want...
sorry for what? I didn't see anything.
Okay, let's say that you didn't see anything, and I know that you've seen it, okay? The least that you could do is say, I know what happened, and I'm sorry. And you
I did not know what was happening, and I can't
You're
say
saying
I'm
my
sorry.
dad didn't catch him whenever I was 6 and tell you if I ever catch him again, I'm going to kill him? You can't say that my dad told you that?
Did he say that to you?
If he did, I didn't hear him. He came in. You know, I'm done. Why should I stay up here and listen to these three
I'm not
women?
asking you to say that you did anything wrong.
No, but
That's
you
not
want me to
what
say
I'm
he
asking
did,
you to
and
do.
he didn't. To me, he didn't.
You're asking her to apologize for something that she had no knowledge of, so...
Do you believe that Joe is guilty of any wrongdoing with any minor girls?
No, I really don't. No.
So you don't believe that there's even circumstantial evidence or anything that would raise your
Dr.
level
Phil,
of
if
suspicion?
it was other than the girls and what you had me read on there, but I knew those girls. I know this one didn't stay like she said she did. I knew I helped her with all my heart to try to get her a better life.
In Tammy's letter, she wrote that you told her that he remembers what he had done to Ashley. So he didn't remember about Megan, but that he remembered what he had done to Ashley.
Joe told Tammy that?
Told you that.
No, he didn't tell me that.
He didn't tell you that.
No.
Why were you afraid you would be arrested?
Because she kept saying, Grandma knew, Grandma knew, Grandma knew.
Isn't that a pretty good case of say, well, you know, we're going to go after her next because she knew what was going on and she didn't do anything about it? That's what we were afraid of. That's what we were afraid of because she kept saying that Peggy knew it. If Peggy had suspected the least bit of suspect that anything like that was going on, he would have been 6 feet under. Now, it's as simple as that.
Is that why
Is
you're
that why
lying?
you deny it now? Because you're afraid that they're going to come after you next?
I just want to know why you are coming every 7 years after me.
After 7 years, I didn't come after you.
Oh, yes, you did.
My
7.
mother found out, and that's when we came forward. Otherwise, this probably still would have been swept under a rug like it was all those other years.
Is it
And
possible?
what else is swept underneath your rug?
Is it
If
possible?
that's the way you put it.
What?
Is it possible that this went on and you just had a functional blindness to it, that you just didn't see it?
When she came down, she was down with her family. She didn't leave till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. This one didn't come in till about midnight.
Are you saying that it's not even possible? I'm not saying that you saw it or knew it, but outside of your awareness, you're saying it's not even possible that any of this took place.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It just seems
This is why I have a hard time accepting what the grandmother is saying. When Dr. Phil asks whether it's even possible that her husband did these things, she gives an absolute no. But that doesn't line up with things she herself has already admitted. Earlier, she said she woke up and saw her husband's hands on her granddaughter. She said it concerned her enough that she told the granddaughter not to come over anymore. Those are not the actions of someone who believes there is absolutely no possibility that something inappropriate could be happening. Those are the actions of someone who saw something that made her uncomfortable and raised concerns in her mind. That's why her answer feels disingenuous to me. If there was truly zero possibility in her mind, then why was she concerned in the first place? Why tell the granddaughter to stay away? You can't spend part of the conversation describing moments that caused you alarm, and then later act as though the idea is completely unimaginable. Those two positions don't fit together, and that's what makes her response so difficult to believe.
to me to be totally non-credible to say that it's not even possible. You know, maybe you didn't see it. Maybe you weren't aware of it. Maybe your consciousness wouldn't let it into your mind. I tell you, there are many situations where wives have allowed this to go on because they would rather him be messing with them than with her. Is that what happened here?
No.
Were you just in your mind saying, I'd rather he be messing around with her than with me?
Can I ask a
No, and
question?
I wish you'd bite your tongue on that.
Can I ask you a question? How is somebody going to rape somebody if they're impotent? Answer this.
Well, you know, impotency is 95% psychological and 5% physiological in terms of etiology. So a man may be impotent in one scenario but not in another. And one of the reasons that pedophiles are drawn to young people is because they don't feel threatened. They have a sense of superiority and control, and oftentimes can perform in a very normal fashion in that scenario where they cannot, with interaction with a peer, someone their own age.
Okay, then why would he wait until she has a granddaughter and all of a sudden say, oh, wow, he's got a granddaughter, I'm going to start molesting her?
How do you
Why?
know it
I
hasn't
have
happened
3 daughters
before?
that was around him all the time.
Okay, but,
they had friends that was there all the time.
What difference does it make why? What matters is if it did or it didn't. I mean, you're saying, why would he wait? Well, why would he
Yeah.
do it to begin with?
Well, that's a good question too, but why would he wait until there's a granddaughter?
Because no, you're asking the question as
Yeah.
though it's some declaration of truth. And the fact is, why would he wait until he had a granddaughter? Because he now had access to a vulnerable young girl. That's why he would wait.
Okay, and my young girls wasn't enough. Okay, I understand.
What? As grown as you are, you're really going to say something like that? Why did he wait until he had a granddaughter? Were your children not good enough? What kind of argument is that? Did you want your children to be touched inappropriately too? Because that's exactly how that statement comes across. You're acting as though the allegations don't make sense unless there are victims in every generation of the family, and that's just bizarre to me. The fact that someone may not have harmed one person does not mean they couldn't have harmed someone else. So when you start talking about whether your children were good enough, you've completely lost me. That's not a defense, that's not evidence, and that's not even addressing what's being discussed. It's such a strange thing to say that it makes me wonder how anyone thought that was a valid point to bring up in the first place.
You know, your sarcasm is insulting to these girls. No, you are. You are being sarcastic and acerbic, and it insults these girls and every molestation victim that's watching. And I'll guarantee you, if God forbid your daughters had ever fallen victim to something like this, you would be singing a very different tune instead of what you're saying.
I'm just saying, you know?
Well, you give me a smug
just making a
whatever. You
statement.
say whatever you want, but the truth is that there is an overwhelming mountain of evidence
What she's wanting
that
to
a
really
number
keep-
of girls here have been inappropriately dealt with by this man. The mother says so, your son says so. I mean, you just can't keep expanding the circle. It's just like you're delusional about
She
this. You can't
doesn't-
just expanding the circle. It's a prosecutor, 12 jurors, all of these witnesses. Everybody, come on, Sharon, you know that's not realistic.
She just doesn't understand why he didn't do anything with her girls when all of a sudden he's doing
Just
everything.
thank God he didn't, if he didn't.
I do think that he did, okay? Why does she, when she was little, want to go ahead and take a bath at Grandma's before she went home because she was tired of her stepdad coming in the bathroom when she was 12 years old and taking a bath?
Don't even bring my dad into this. This has
I'm not-
nothing to do with my
I'm
dad.
not talking to
Joe
you.
is the
I
one
am
that
talking to
did
you.
all of those things, not anybody else. Joe. And you knew about it. And yet you're still lying. That's all you can do is lie.
You know, the interesting
you know what,
thing is,
you little lady, you lied a lot because you wasn't at my house for 2 years.
Okay.
Did you not
The-
lie?
I did not lie.
the truth is that you could fill volumes with what you
What
two
is?
don't know about sexual molestation, pedophiles, and their victims. You could fill volumes with your misinformation about that. And I'm not saying that to be critical. I'm saying that because I really hope that you will educate yourselves about this, because I think when you do, and then you look back at this, you're going to go, oh my God. The things I said about he wouldn't have done this if that, and why this and that, are going to become very, very clear to you, because there's nothing unique in this pattern of abuse at all.
No, and I don't need this kind of abuse in my life either. So, my question telling you, I am very sorry if you thought I saw something, and I am very sorry if he did it to you. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm done with it. I do not want you in my life.
You knew and threw me away to the wind like I was nothing to you. Nothing.
I did not know.
Yes, you did, Peggy.
I
yes,
did
you
not,
did.
Ashley.
Let's say you won't admit that you walked in and caught him in my room 50 to 75 times. Let's say you didn't catch him on the couch doing it 50 to 75
Ashley,
times.
there's a...
But my dad told you. My dad told you. You caught him with his hand on my leg, and you admitted to that one. So the least you can do is say, you know what, there is doubt there. There is doubt, and I am sorry that I did not do anything to help you. I'm sorry that one time, whenever I did catch him in your room, that I didn't come in and ask you if you were okay. You just walked to the kitchen and pretended that nothing happened after you sat there and told Joe, get out of here and go back to bed.
I didn't tell him to go in there and find him in your room.
So you can't even...
Okay, let me ask.
So don't admit that you
Okay.
knew. Don't admit that you knew. You can admit that my dad told you whenever I was 6. So you had doubt since I was 6. But do you know how bad it hurts that my own dad couldn't say anything? That he couldn't say anything when
Do
I
you
was
feel
6?
better now? Do
No,
you
I
feel
don't,
better
because
now?
you still
I'm
are
sure
saying
glad
that
you
you
feel better.
don't.
I am done. I'm sorry. I am done.
Did you sacrifice her so he would leave you alone?
No, I did not. He was impotent. He had Viagra. It didn't work.
I'll just ask you this final question, and then you can be done. Do you agree with Sharon that there was a conspiracy here among these 3, your 2 children, the prosecutor, and 12 jurors?
I believe Joe got the shaft because Joe wasn't allowed to say anything and Joe didn't do anything. And when he asked for the Bible to make his statement, there was no Bible produced.
They would not let him swear on the Bible that he did not do it.
How would that help?
So, do you believe there was this broad conspiracy to take your husband in?
Ashley, did you ask your grandpa for money?
To buy a house that I had already bought? No.
Is that why you lost it? Because you'd already bought it?
Actually, we didn't lose it.
Really?
Really.
Do you agree with her that there was a broad conspiracy to take down your husband?
I know the 4th of July she asked my husband for money. He told her no.
For house repairs?
Her house was being repossessed.
I had just bought the house.
Yeah, you
We
did.
just closed in July. How in the hell would we be losing it?
Because
we
you-
just bought it.
Do you agree with Sharon that there was a
What
broad
kind of sense
conspiracy
does
to
that
take
make?
down your husband?
I believe Ashley got mad at her grandpa because he did not give her the money. And I believe that's why.
What he's saying is, do you think that it was fixed ahead of time? That Joe couldn't-
I'm done.
Only the guilty
Does
walk
it
away.
feel good to
so
make you know
I'm sure
that
you'll
you
be
have
going
hurt your
too.
grandmother again?
Okay.
That's all I'm
She
asking.
hurt herself whenever
That's all
she
I'm
lies.
asking.
She hurts herself. How in the hell did we hurt her knowing damn well that she knew about it, she'd seen it happening, and if she can't admit to that, she at least knew that something was going on because she caught him with his hand on my leg and my dad told her. And she can't even say I had doubt. She's hurting herself. So don't sit here and tell me I'm hurting her.
Okay. So does she.
What does she live with? Guilt? That
Sharon,
she knew?
I think you could help your friend Peggy if you could help her at least acknowledge that there is a distinct possibility here that the man she was married to was mentally ill and may have done some things.
She has admitted that he has problems.
In my view, she is absolutely at delusional level denial to not recognize that this man is at least very suspect. There are too many people telling too many things that preclude you from saying, well, I can't even entertain the possibility. And her own children are saying it. Her stepchildren are saying it. Their neighbors are saying it. You can say, oh, well, they're a bunch of little tight-knit little snitches and. But I tell you what, being a friend and perjuring yourself under oath and putting a man in prison until the year
Till doomsday.
2245, somebody cracks somewhere along the line, and I don't think she will ever have any peace in her life until she comes to grips with and acknowledges that she just may have made some really bad choices and had some functional blindness here.
Maybe she could have. I don't know. But I just know that there has also been lies on this part. Lies that we have caught them in, but the world believes them, okay? It's simple as that.
But that doesn't mean that they weren't molested. Thank all of my guests today.
The fact that the grandmother and her friend kept coming up with theory after theory about why this couldn't have happened is honestly mind-boggling to me. Throughout this entire conversation, it felt like there was always another explanation, another excuse, another reason why the allegations couldn't possibly be true. At no point did it seem like they were genuinely willing to sit with the possibility that they might be wrong. What stood out to me is that every piece of information was met with a new defense. If there was one victim, that wasn't enough. When other alleged victims were brought up, that wasn't enough either. If concerns had been raised in the past, there was an explanation for that too. It felt like the goalposts kept moving because the conclusion had already been decided before the conversation even started. At some point, you have to ask yourself whether you're searching for the truth or simply searching for reasons to avoid it. Because if every fact, every allegation, every concern, and every testimony is immediately dismissed, then what evidence would ever be enough? For me, that's what made this episode so frustrating. It wasn't just the allegations themselves. It was watching people bend over backwards to explain away things that should have at least prompted some serious reflection. Whether you agree with me or not, that's the biggest takeaway I had from this entire discussion. But that's where I'm going to leave this one. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Do you think the grandmother was genuinely in denial? Or do you think she was deliberately refusing to consider the possibility that her husband could have done these things? If you enjoyed this commentary, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.